Welcome to Fairy Tales Dashed 1.
Hello, little dreamers, and welcome back to our cozy corner of imagination. Are you snuggled up and ready for an adventure? Because today we're going on a very special journey to a place filled with magic and whispers, where every word holds a secret and every story is a shimmering path. Close your eyes for a moment, take a deep breath, and open them ready to explore. The story I have for you today is called Leo and the Whispering Pages. Once upon a time, in a world not so different from our own, lived a quiet boy named Leo. Leo wasn't keen on loud games or boisterous friends. He preferred the hushed comfort of the old town library, a place that sadly was growing emptier and dustier by the day. You see, in Leo's world, something strange was happening. Books were losing their words. Pages that were once brimming with dragons and daring knights with brave princesses and mischievous sprites were slowly turning blank. People were forgetting the old tales, and a dull quietness had settled over everything like a forgotten sigh. Libraries became just buildings, and story time was a faded memory. Leo, however, still clung to the few books that held onto their magic, tracing the remaining words with his finger, trying to remember the tales that were slipping away. One gray afternoon, while helping the kind librarian tidy a forgotten corner, Leo stumbled upon a small leather-bound book tucked behind a stack of blank-paged encyclopedias. It looked ordinary at first, but when Leo brushed off the dust, a faint golden glow pulsed from its cover. Unlike all the other books, this one felt warm beneath his fingertips, humming with a soft, almost imperceptible vibration. Curiosity tugged at his heart. He carefully opened it, and as he did, a tiny shimmering word no bigger than a firefly floated off the page and danced in the air before him. It was the word whisper. Then another word followed, imagine, and then a third, journey. They spun around him like motes of dust in a sunbeam before gently settling back onto the page, now gleaming brightly. A soft, almost imperceptible voice, like the rustle of turning pages, spoke directly into Leo's mind. Welcome, Leo, it whispered, to the lexicon. A world woven from stories now fading just like your own. Only you can help us. Leo gasped, not just because a book was talking, but because the pages within weren't just words. They were windows. Through them, he saw a landscape unlike anything he had ever imagined. There were towering mountains of metaphor, their peaks shrouded in misty similes. A silvery river of rhyme meandered through a valley of vivid verbs. And in the distance, a colossal, magnificent structure, the great library of legends, stood dark and silent, its grand arches barely visible through a thick haze of forgotten tales. The voice continued, our stories are dying, Leo. The words are returning to blankness because people in your world have stopped reading and dreaming. You must gather the story seeds, the shimmering words like the ones you saw from the faded tales within the lexicon, and plant them in the word wells to bring our stories and yours back to life. Just then, a tiny glittering creature no bigger than Leo's thumb fluttered out from between the pages. It looked like a miniature quill, its tip shimmering with an inner light, and it had delicate butterfly-like wings. I am Quillin, it chirped, its voice like the gentle scratch of a pen. I am your guide. The book chose you, Leo, for your quiet heart and your love of words. Leo, though a little overwhelmed, felt a surge of purpose. He was scared, but the thought of all the stories disappearing forever was even scarier. He took a deep breath, and with Quillin fluttering excitedly beside him, he stepped through the shimmering page into the lexicon. The air hummed with faint echoes of forgotten laughter and epic battles. Their first task was to find the story seeds. Quillin led him to a place called the Forest of Fables, where trees stood like open books, their pages brittle and faded. Many of the seeds here are hidden within riddles, Quillin explained. You must remember the stories, Leo, to unlock them. Leo remembered a riddle from an old fairy tale. I have cities but no houses, forests but no trees, and water but no fish. What am I? Leo thought for a moment, then his eyes lit up. A map, he exclaimed. As soon as he spoke the word, a shower of shimmering map seeds rained down from the trees. Leo carefully collected them in a small satchel that Quillin had provided. Their journey continued. They navigated the treacherous deserts of diction, where words had been scattered, and lost, needing Leo to arrange them into meaningful sentences to create a safe path. They crossed the whispering woods, where almost forgotten nursery rhymes tried to lure them off course, their melodies faint and sad. Leo had to listen carefully, remember the correct verses, and sing them aloud to calm the woods and reveal the hidden melody seeds. It wasn't always easy. Sometimes they encountered blank pages, vast empty voids where stories had completely vanished, leaving nothing but a chilling silence. Leo had to use his imagination, recalling what kind of tale might have been there to conjure a temporary bridge of words across the void. Quillen was a constant source of encouragement, reminding him that every word he remembered, every story he loved, made him stronger. Finally, after days that felt like weeks, they arrived at the great library of legends. It loomed before them, majestic, but silent, its once brilliant windows dark, its grand doors tightly shut. The heart of all stories, Quillen whispered, is here. But the last, most powerful story, the seed of imagination itself, lies deep within, guarded by the echoes of all forgotten tales. Leo felt a chill. He pushed open the heavy doors, which groaned in protest. Inside, the vast halls were dark, stretching endlessly into dusty gloom. Books lined the shelves, but their covers were dull, their pages as black as night. Leo felt a wave of sadness wash over him. All these stories gone. How could he find one tiny, precious seed in such a vast emptiness? He sat down amidst the silent shelves, feeling utterly hopeless. Quillen flew to his shoulder, its tiny light dimming. "Remember, Leo," it chirped softly. "Remember why you love stories. Remember the first story that made your heart sing."
again. And do like, share, and subscribe the channel. Fairy Tales.